Good morning, welcome back to another vlog. I'm on the struggle bus this morning. It's been very hard to get myself out of bed, but we're off to London today, and I think once I'm on the move I'll be fine. It's just the getting going bit that's wiping me out a bit. So I'm not going to expend any more energy at the moment. I'm just going to get myself to London, get to my premiere in, get back in bed, and then we'll go from there. In early and you can get on a bit earlier as a wheelchair user. It's just so much easier when there's less like faff and chaos and everyone's rushing to get on at the same time and putting their luggage in the wheelchair spaces. It's so nice when you can just get on early and get yourself sorted out ahead of what's going to be quite a long journey today. We have made it. This is the Hub by Premier Inn on Covent Garden. Usually the Hub rooms are really tiny, but this is the accessible one, so there is a little bit more space to manoeuvre. And the bathroom is pretty huge actually as well. Look at that, that's not bad going. And if we look out of the window, we have a lovely view of some concrete. I have actually stayed here before, and when we were coming up, I got a taxi. Usually I like to walk/wheel, and it's usually not that bad, but the weather's pretty horrendous and I'm not feeling my best. I don't know if you can tell. So I got a taxi and we pulled up, and I was like, I wonder why I don't stay in this specific Premier Inn more often, because the location is incredible. You're right in the heart of like all the theatres. It's really close to where I'm going to later on. And then I got out of the taxi and I tried to get to the entrance, and I was like, this is why I don't stay here that often. The dropped curb situation around this hotel is probably up there with the worst I've ever experienced. Like, you can see the door, but there's just no dropped curbs at the end of the pavement, so you have to do like a whole reroute, do like the scenic route all the way around just to get across the road. So that's going to be interesting later. I'm going to have to leave a bit early and figure out how I'm going to get back, because I don't really want to be faffing around with that when it's dark. I was going to sit down and tell you all like why I'm here and stuff like that, but I think I just need to go to bed and start again. Like, I'm absolutely fine. I'm not absolutely fine, I'm alright. You know when it's just like little things and things just aren't quite going right, and it's lots of little things, and then I didn't feel that well to start with. Nothing major, just people on the train thinking their luggage is more important than the wheelchair space. Shock horror, the wheelchair space is for wheelchair users. So yeah, not my usual start to a vlog, I'm sorry about that, but I am just going to go and get myself a cup of tea from downstairs. That's the other thing with these Hub rooms, there isn't a kettle in the room, so you do have to go and get your hot drinks from downstairs. Gonna get a cup of tea. I'm gonna bring the lunch I brought with me because I didn't want to spend £6 on a meal deal. I'm gonna go to bed and have my rest, and then we're gonna start again. That's what we're gonna do. We're back, we're all good. I've had a rest, I've had a McDonald's, we're back to business. So the event I'm going to tonight is to celebrate 200 years of the National Gallery. It turns 200 years old this year, and as part of their like year-long celebrations, they are launching a programme called 200 Creators, of which I'm very honoured to be one of them. And tonight is the sort of like launch event, reception event for that. There's going to be other opportunities throughout the year. Hopefully I'll be able to join in. As you'll probably know if you watch these vlogs, I'm not that local to London, but hopefully there's going to be stuff I get to join in with. I don't really know what this evening entails, but like the opportunity to go into the National Gallery after it's closed, like that alone was like, yes, absolutely, count me in. To give you a brief rundown of the anxieties in my mind right now, number one is I don't really know what this event involves. I don't know anybody else who's going, as in I don't know if there'll be anybody I know, I'm assuming not. Number two is I'm worried about the drop curbs outside this hotel still. And number three, I am worried that I'm overdressed, which it was hard to judge. There is no dress code, and I thought, okay, National Gallery, even in reception, I think I would rather run the risk of dressing up than run the risk of dressing down. I'm saying that as if my play suit isn't from Georgia Asda, but it looks quite formal, and I've got heels on for like the first time in like minimum of 1 year. It's been a very long time since I last wore heels. But I do have a cardi, and the cardi dresses it down, so it's going to be fine. More than anything else, I am really excited, and I'm looking forward to just seeing what unfolds from here. And I need to remember to take my tablets. I'm going to go and do that now. Can we also just have a moment for the fact that I've got a face covering that like matches my heels? I don't know, I could have just panned the camera down. I didn't need to try and lift my leg up. I don't know why I did that. Look! I am very happy with that. I will absolutely take that. Yeah, for full transparency, I generally make decisions about face coverings on a case-by-case basis. I think this is going to be quite a busy event tonight, so I am intending to wear a face covering just to protect myself and others. So I'm almost ready, Wilma's almost ready, and we're just going to have to go and deal with this drop curb situation soon, I think. What's happened to my hair? Putting that aside, I had a really nice time at the event. It was actually so lovely, and I can't believe how many people I saw that I knew. I wasn't expecting that at all. Nobody who went had any idea who else was going. So to walk in and see, almost immediately see people that I knew or people that I knew of online, oh, it was just so lovely. It was really cool to see the gallery after hours. I kind of hung back a bit, so as everyone was going forward, I had quite a lot of like free rein to just kind of take my time and go and look around and look at all the different paintings and all the different art. I saw like a load of Van Gogh pieces, including the sunflowers, which was the one I really wanted to see. And yeah, I always forget, like with events like this, I always slightly dread them before I go in, just because it's that initial thing of walking through the door and not really knowing like what the etiquette is, don't know if you're dressed right, don't know if you know anybody, don't know how people are going to be. There's also the slant of being a wheelchair user. Sometimes people are a little bit afraid to talk to you, so it's usually you that has to start the conversation. And it was a really lovely way to celebrate the launch of the 200 Creators Network. We got to hear a bit more about that, have some lovely food, have some lovely drinks, and yes, just I'm really pleased with how it went. I'm just really not pleased with how my hair has behaved this evening. I spent energy on this and it was straight when I left the house like 2 hours ago, and I only went down the road. Yeah, really great event. I'm really glad I went. Good morning. We are up. We are alive to an extent. I'm gonna level with you, I had a pretty horrendous night last night. It's just the location, like the accessible rooms are always near the lift, there's a fire door right outside the room, and every time I was just about to fall asleep, somebody went through the door and the door slammed. And you know when adrenaline just shoots through your body? Like that happened multiple times, and that would make me not very well under the best of circumstances. So to have it happening over and over again after I've already had a busy day, and I've got a fairly busy day today as well, just not ideal by anybody's standards. But I've taken care of myself as much as possible in the circumstances. Normally I like to be up and out, but it's coming up to 12 p.m. and I'm still in the room. I've been slowly getting ready over the last couple of hours, like I'd do a little bit and then go and have a lay down. I went downstairs for breakfast, and again the cup of tea really helped. I'm still persevering with some lovely plans I've got for today, just a bit more of a diluted version. I'm meeting my friend Shona today, The original plan this morning was she was going to teach me how to do the tube. I have a slightly irrational fear of doing the tube as a wheelchair user, purely because I've never done it before. So she was going to show me the ropes and show me what I needed to do. This is the second time we've had to cancel that now. The first time was because I had my old wheelchair and I was literally barely getting from A to B. And then today I just don't feel well enough to do that and then do the other stuff we're going to do. So I'm really sad that we've had to change that plan. But we are still going to meet for lunch, have a catch up, and then this afternoon we're going to the matinee performance of a play that's called Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York. And I don't know that much about it, but it's had really positive reviews so far and it's supposed to be really funny. And yeah, I'm really excited to go and see that this afternoon. Going to a matinee and then getting the train home after would be quite a lot for me, even on a good day, so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. But in positive news, I did manage to get a train upgrade on the way home, so I use Seatfrog if you haven't seen it before, and if you've got a ticket booked for a train, you can basically like bid to win a first class upgrade. And I cannot even tell you how much of a difference like the first class upgrade situation makes. Like, it's just so much easier to do the journey, and I just can't justify doing it as often as it would be helpful to. So I do try and bid, and I try and be rational with what I'm bidding, although like any person I do sometimes get a bit carried away and I get a bit trigger happy with it. But it's good because you do sometimes manage to get that upgrade at a much more reasonable price, which is what's happened today, thank the Lord. We're doing okay, and I'm just looking forward to having as lovely a day as possible. I say that, the task I need to do is trying to untangle this necklace, and I think this is a very fitting visual representation of what my brain feels like right now. In a haze in the middle of the night, I put the McDonald's bag under the door in case that was going to do anything to block the sound out. Like, I don't know what I was hoping that was going to achieve. You don't mind me just kind of like flopping over the back of my sofa. The production of Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York, which was, by the way, a musical, not a play like I've been telling everybody. It was absolutely brilliant, and it's well worth a watch if you have the opportunity to go and see it. I probably will have fangirled on Instagram by the time this goes up, but it was absolutely spectacular. It was so good. It was very minimal in terms of like the staging and the set design and the special effects. There were only two characters the whole way through, and yet it felt like such a full and rich story, even with those very minimal elements. So I thought it was really cool how they did that. On the train home, actually, I was messaging Shona, who I went to see it with, and I was like, I think I found a loophole in the plot. And this is pretty spoiler free, but in one of the songs, the main character Dougal references the fact that he's got celiac disease. And then later on, there's a very key point in the plot where he eats a cake. And so I was messaging Shona, like, it was either a gluten-free cake or something that happened after that didn't happen the way that it was presented to us. But then I realised I'd probably just have a bit too much free time. I don't think this will have been my best vlog by the time I've edited it all together. I don't think it's my best, but I think it's important to share sometimes that, like, travel doesn't always go to plan, disability, health stuff doesn't always go to plan. When the travel stuff goes well, you feel like an absolute badass, it's the best thing ever. But when it doesn't go well, it feels like somebody squashed you, like you feel so like fragile and like out of the loop with the rest of the world. Like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. I could probably do a better job of this if my brain wasn't mush. Yeah, I feel a bit defeated this time. I had a lovely, lovely time at the gallery. I had an amazing time at the theatre. But the bits and bobs in between, like, took a toll on me this time, both mentally and physically. And it was one of those situations where it's like, it doesn't have to be as hard as this. So if you're watching this and, like, you have similar sorts of struggles, I actually don't have any wisdom to offer. I'm just sorry that you have to deal with it too, and hopefully it won't be this way forever. And here's to more of the much more positive experiences, because they are out there and they do exist, but they don't always come your way, and that is not a reflection on you. Anyway, I think I really need to go to bed now, so thank you so much as always for watching, if you still are. Really, really appreciate you being here. You can subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.